Hello, beautiful light workers, the boots on the ground here, Army of Light Earth Division. Shauna L. Francis here. Today is January 30th, 2023. Thanks for joining me. We are channeling Queen Elizabeth. This is our 12th official channeling with her today. I'm doing good, feeling really grounded in this. Trying to get into a groove here with my schedule, with her, figuring out when channeling is going to be the best for me during the day, where my energy level's high. I'm here in Mexico until Friday. Then I'll have to start over with a new schedule when I get back to the States. But I'm feeling really good about what we've got going on here. There's been a lot that has been divulged, and for many of us, not a lot of surprises. Some things for me have definitely been a surprise. And I like how specific she's getting. 30 to 40 people in the monarchy, part of the reptilian regime. They know that we're talking about humans. They are born into human bodies as avatars. We're getting glimpses into just how far-reaching the negative reptilian influence is. Where, she brought up Ethiopia yesterday, all these countries that are very much poor and destitute. These third world countries are that way because the negative reptilians decided a long time ago that they were not important to them. There weren't the resources there that they needed. So that's pretty incredible. She talked about the monetary systems of the entire world being controlled by a handful of reptilians. I guess that's no big surprise. What's interesting is these other kind of rich countries may not realize that they are at the mercy of the negative reptilians when it comes to their financial markets. We know that they have been taking the adrenaline chemical, and they take it in pill form. It's highly addictive. Anyway, there's a lot. I'm trying to do it from memory. Thanks everybody for joining me on this incredible journey with the Queen. Today the Queen was more inward, more contemplative, and I also would say it just felt a little heavier today with her. It was not a long exchange, 1,200 words exchanged or so. I felt like a sadness with her today, and I ended up giving her a couple of little pep talks. So I'll get into this and we'll walk through how this conversation went with the Queen today. All right, guys. She again came in as her reptilian self, and she just seems big. Like today it felt like this was a 10 or 12 foot being, where before I thought, oh, 7 or 8 feet. She just seemed even bigger today than I'd seen her before. Again, with this red cape with the medallion right here holding it together. And I was kind of feeling like the Japanese style pagoda and the gardens aren't necessarily the right fit for her as this large reptilian being and me as a human. So I tried experimenting today with being more outside, or having her be very large and me small, but I'm positioned up kind of near her face and chest where I can interact with her better. So I just was experimenting with that in my mind, imagining different scenarios and how we can better connect and be close. I'm not sure I got anywhere today, but I'm going to continue to work on it. We basically went out of the pagoda, came outside in the Japanese garden, and just more in the open air. There's a babbling brook, and there's rocks, and there's greenery and trees and that kind of thing, and the sun shining. It's really quite lovely. All right. I said, thank you. It's so good to see you, Queen Elizabeth. Please begin wherever you'd like. And she said, thank you so much, Shauna. It's such an honor to be working with you and to have you to help tell my story, tell our stories to the planet. It is time. It is long overdue, but somehow it's all perfectly timed in the grander scheme of things. She said here, we've embarked on quite a journey together, Shauna, a partnership for the ages, united in shared stories, on a shared mission, beyond time and space, aligned in heart. I said, yes, Queen Elizabeth, this is quite a thrill, and I'm very honored to be working with you and to be helping bring this information to light. I said, it's really awe-inspiring. And she said, yes, it is. She said here, through the eye of the needle, we tread carefully and deliberately on the other side. We leave one era behind and we enter a new one. Archangel Metatron also talks about the eye of the needle, going through the eye of the needle. I think I've heard the Galactic Federation of Light talk about it too. So definitely I feel like for all of us here on this journey together, we have, I think with the latest channelings with the Galactic Federation of Light, where all of those folks came forward to really help educate us and enlighten us on what's been going on with the reptilians. Now talking with Queen Elizabeth, we've definitely gone through this eye of the needle, a narrow, hard passage here. Deliberate, she said. We're treading deliberately now on the other side of it. We've entered this new era, guys. This is a major transition that we've just made. This time with eyes wide open, she said, hearts wide open, with the faith and trust in our capacities to be absolutely successful in this quest of light. With the keys to unlock even the most stubborn of constraints. And there's a pause here, and she kind of switched gears. What I wish I would have said back when I was 21 years old, making that first radio address to the public, is that we all will be embarking upon a grand adventure where there is the protagonist, the antagonist, people who wish to do well, people who wish to do harm. And that it would serve us each to choose wisely how we wish to be in this world. And that love, integrity, and truth will someday be our guiding factors. But until that time, it would be wise to make our own decisions on who it is and what it is we'd like to be, how we carry ourselves, how we treat each other. This will be the greatest challenges of our times. Overcoming the strong inclination to fall in line with history, with accepted norms, even when those norms are cold and harsh and negative, even when the norms push us further and further apart as a species, keep us separate from our hearts. This would have been true leadership had I known back then what I know today. I had watched a documentary on Queen Elizabeth a few days ago where they have video footage of her making that first address. I think it was over radio, but they did have video of it. She was 21 years old, addressing the public. She was not even in line for the throne. Her dad was the king's brother, and the king's brother gave up the being king to be with a woman that he loved. So he stepped out of the king role, and then that made Queen Elizabeth's father the king. And then that's why she became all of a sudden next in line for the throne. And then, of course, at 26, she was coronated. So it happened very quickly. Her father died quickly without much warning. And all of a sudden, here she was queen. So she said, that would have been true leadership had I known back then what I know today. So I speak these words through Shauna in this moment, hoping that the loving intention behind these words can be heard by at least some and be helpful even today. Another pause and a shifting of gears again. It's so comforting to me to know, she said, from this vantage point of being on the other side of the veil, working on behalf of the light, that there is real hope for this planet and for humanity to reach their full potential and beyond, living an existence free and clear of this negative reptilian influence. As a negative reptilian in that state of mind, I would not have believed that to be true. This will be considered a huge failure for the species who so expertly crafted the sphere machine thousands and thousands of years in the making. And then I felt my energy shift quite a bit, and I saw myself kind of with my hand on her heart area, and not that she was just this huge thing, but just, you know, it's more metaphorical. And I was just like, you know, we've got this. We're going to do this together. I was just feeling like I was needing to give her a little bit of encouragement, like she was feeling very down today. And she said, I just feel as though there were so many missed opportunities to do the right thing. I just hope that I can make some level of amends with the information that I'm sharing. And I hope, she said, that other beings who serve the negative reptilian regime will have the fearlessness and willpower to leave that world behind as you and I have, Shauna. She said here, there is choice here, a real choice. Getting to the point where one is aware of this choice is what can be challenging. Isn't that the truth, though? And I just felt like my heart was, it literally felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. It was such a heavy heart feeling today. And I said, well, you are doing the right thing now, and it will have a huge impact on this ascension. And I imagine that you would be inspiring others who, you know, used to be who are in the predicament that we used to be in. Let's hold on to our faith and hope that we will make a huge difference here. And she said, thank you, Shauna. And at that point, I reached out to Archangel Metatron and Melchizedek, and I just said an affirmation out loud. I said, let's work to release this heaviness in our hearts with Queen Elizabeth. I humbly ask Archangel Metatron and Melchizedek and Cryon to help rebalance our energies, to help lift this heaviness in our hearts as we fully and completely leave the reptilian life behind and move absolutely into the light, serving the light unconditionally. Please help free us from whatever heavy emotions may be holding us back in this one infinite moment. Please continue to lift us high as we can go, above all this chaos and confusion, sadness and fear, where we may soar and be beacons for others. Thank you so much, team. And then there was quite a big pause there, and I said, please continue, Queen Elizabeth, whenever you're ready. And then she said, let us say a prayer for humanity. So that's how this was going today. And she said, may the chains that bind, may the doors that are closed, may the weight of such a heavy burden be released, be overcome, and be forever vanquished. With the blinding light of God, may all of creation know itself at once as free, untethered, unshackled, running wild, dancing with joy, fully immersed in this new era. I said, thank you so much for that, Queen Elizabeth. I said, is there anything else you want to talk about today? And she said, just thank you, Shauna, again for your time, your dedication, and your focus. I said, you're so very welcome. And that was really it. That's where we left it. So it's kind of like she releases some specifics about the reptilian regime, and then we kind of go to this, the next day it's a little bit lighter, or it's just a little bit of a different focus. So, I'm kind of seeing or feeling this pattern happen with us, and how she's disclosing this information. A few of you have asked if she has a British accent, and no, not how she comes through for me. It's just more a neutral voice with the no accent and just words. And then the words kind of fade away and it turns into more of a stream of consciousness sometimes. Yeah. All right, so that's where we're at today. I think it's good. All right, team. I love you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your amazing comments. And I shall see you all tomorrow. Mwah.